Imagine a world where one city ruled over nearly a quarter of humanity. Roads stretched thousands of miles, armies marched with terrifying discipline, and a single empire shaped the laws, architecture, and politics of civilizations for centuries. But how does such immense power rise, and how does it collapse into ruin? The story of Rome begins, as many great tales do, in legend. Around 753 B, see the twins Romulus and Remus, abandoned on the banks of the Tiber, were said to have been raised by a she-wolf. Myth or not, Rome grew from a cluster of huts on 7 hills into a kingdom, then into a republic. The Romans didn't just fight wars, they absorbed cultures, ideas, and gods from the peoples they conquered. Their empire was not built overnight, it was a slow, relentless climb. By the 3rd century BC, Rome had clashed with its greatest rival, Carthage. The Punic Wars became legendary, especially the moment when Hannibal crossed the Alps with war elephants. For a time, it seemed Rome might fall. But the Romans, with their unyielding resilience, rebuilt again and again until Carthage was finally destroyed. Their victory cemented Rome as the Mediterranean's master. Soon, their power stretched far beyond Italy. Soldiers marched into Greece, Gaul, Egypt, and the Middle East. Each conquest brought treasures, slaves, and ideas. The Romans engineered aqueducts, massive roads, and arenas like the Colosseum that still inspire awe today. They created a system of law that survives in parts of the modern world. But at the heart of this rising empire lay conflict. The republic that once balanced power between Senate and citizens began to fracture under the weight of ambition. Generals grew stronger than politicians. Men like Julius Caesar were not content to simply serve, they wanted to rule. Caesar's story is one of both brilliance and betrayal. A military genius, he conquered Gaul and defied the Senate's orders to disband his army. Crossing the Rubicon River, he declared in silence that Rome's rules no longer applied to him. Within years, he became dictator for life. Yet even the most powerful man in Rome could not escape the daggers of those who feared him. On the Ides of March 44 BC, Caesar fell under the blades of his own senators. But Rome did not return to the Republic. Instead, it slid into chaos and civil war. Out of the bloodshed emerged Caesar's heir, Octavian, who would become Augustus, the first emperor of Rome. With Augustus, the Roman Empire truly began. The Pax Romana-Roman peace lasted for nearly 200 years. It was an era of prosperity, where Roman legions secured borders, trade flourished, and art and culture thrived. From the sands of North Africa to the icy rivers of Britain, Roman influence was everywhere. But peace came at a price. It depended on emperors who could hold the fragile balance of power. And not every emperor was Augustus. Some were visionaries, like Hadrian, who built walls to secure borders. Others were tyrants. Caligula, remembered for his cruelty and madness. Nero, who allegedly played the lyre as Rome burned. The empire could endure brilliant leadership, but it also had to survive corruption, decadence, and civil wars. Have you ever wondered, was Rome doomed to fall from the very moment it grew too large? Could any nation truly govern such vast lands with so many different peoples, faiths, and languages? By the 3rd century, AD, cracks were impossible to ignore. Emperors rose and fell with alarming speed, often murdered by their own guards. The empire's wealth strained under the costs of endless wars and a bloated bureaucracy. Invasions from Germanic tribes pressed at the borders, while the Persians challenged from the east. One man tried to save it, Diocletian. He divided the empire into east and west, believing 2 rulers could govern more effectively than one. For a time, this worked. And when Constantine later legalized Christianity, it transformed Rome's identity forever. The once pagan empire now carried the cross as its symbol. But the West was weakening. As the 4th and 5th centuries unfolded, waves of invaders poured in: Visigoths, Vandals, Huns. In 410 AD, unthinkable happened. Rome itself was sacked. For the first time in 800 years, the eternal city had fallen to foreign hands. The world trembled. Yet the East, known as the Byzantine Empire, survived for another 1,000 years, ruled from the great city of Constantinople. Still, the Western Roman Empire crumbled. Finally, in 476 AD, the last emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed. The Western Empire was gone, and with it ended one of history's greatest powers. But Rome never truly died. Its language, Latin, became the foundation of modern tongues. Its laws influenced nations for centuries. Its monuments stand as silent witnesses to an empire that once ruled the known world. So why did Rome fall? Was it political corruption, economic weakness, barbarian invasions, or perhaps the weight of its own ambition? Historians debate to this day, and perhaps the answer is all of these combined. Rome's story is not just about rise and fall. It is about human ambition, resilience, and the eternal struggle between power and decline. And maybe the real lesson is this: every empire, no matter how mighty, carries within itself the seeds of its own destruction. What do you think about this? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more.